Welcome to the Coffee with Cheryl podcast, the podcast for women over 50 who want to live their best life right now. Imagine having the courage to reinvent your life financially, professionally, personally, and spiritually. Join Cheryl and guests as they share practical tips and resources to inspire you to achieve the lifestyle of your dreams. So grab your favorite mug. It's time for Coffee with Cheryl.
Welcome to the Coffee with Cheryl podcast, the podcast for women over 50 who want to live their best life right now. I am your host, Cheryl Garrison. I'm a speaker and author, a businesswoman, and a champion for everything for women over 50. And today is my birthday! Yay! I'm so excited to have lived 67 wonderful years. And I am so excited that God gave me the gift of being able to talk to all the women in the world who are over 50. I am so pleased today to have Karlease Bradford with me as my first podcast guest. Yay, Karlease. And this is very special because Karlease is, I call her my biggest fan. The first time I met you, Karlease, we just bonded, and I just love you, and I love everything that you bring to my life. And so I am so excited to have you here today. And I don't know if you know, but you're the inspiration for this podcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, and happy birthday. I
Thank you.
truly appreciate and love you. I moved to Phoenix 10 years ago now, and you are, I said, outside of my mom, the woman that I admire the most. People have told me over the years, if you're searching for something, or if you're looking to have something, look to the person who has it. You are a godly woman who have a husband and a beautiful family that love you. And I see the love that you give. And so you inspire me. And so the coffee part, I have to have my coffee. So we vibed on this for sure. But thank you for having me.
Well, you inspire me from the day that we met. And it is so humbling when you say the things that you say about me, because, I just try to live and treat people the way I want to be treated. And so when someone sort of echoes that back to you, that feels good. So thank you so much. I want to, before I introduce you to our guests, I love sharing my little positive quotes and stories. And the one that it's a very simple one, is she believed she could, so she did. I love that quote because it just really epitomizes everything about the podcast, living your life, your best life right now. And if you believe that you can. And you're one of the women that I know who believed it. You didn't let life stop you. And so for you, those of you who don't know, Karlease Bradford is a businesswoman, but first of all, she is a woman of faith. She is daughter, she's a sister, an aunt, a niece, your best friend if you need one. She is a champion of women also. She has multiple businesses and multiple experiences that have led her to where she is right now. And that is living her best life after 50. So Karlease, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I also have a little quote. I went to my godson's graduation from college, and the student speaker blessed me so. She had some disabilities and different things, and she shared some wisdom. This girl's only 22 years old, but she said, never give up. No matter what. She said, repeat, I am enough. I have a purpose. I make a difference. And those are things that all of my life I have known and strive to do. And so my parents instilled on in me, you know, well, they introduced me to being a person of faith. The
Right.
church is a big part of my life. God is the head and of my life, and just reading His Word affirms all of that. We were formed. He knew us before we were formed. We're purposely, fearfully, and wonderfully made.
Right.
Psalms
Exactly.
139 says. And so He knows every head on our head. He knows our days before we know them. Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, this path of life may send you on some curves, but you just don't give up.
No,
You
you
know,
don't. You
a
don't.
little bit.
I know for you, if you tell us a little bit about your journey to where you are now, because if people, knowing your story, a lot of women would have just said, I'm done with this. They just would have seriously, they would have given up. And I know some who just decide, I'll just accept what life has given me and be done with it. Tell us about your journey to where you are right now.
Okay. Well, I have the basic story most of us had. We were told to go to school and get the good grades so we can get that quote unquote good job. I did all of that. And I found myself working in nonprofit management for 30 years. I started with one organization and went to the next. And they said, in order to get ahead, you're going to need a master's. So I went back and I got my master's. I got a master's of science in business management because I wasn't trying to be the CEO, but I know that I can run programs and I wanted to do that. And so I did, but it did not really, it didn't turn out the way that I thought. It really created debt for me.
Oh, yeah.
And, I found myself in 2008 when the economy crashed. I thought I was top of the world. I was the director of a national organization. I covered 2 states. I had my corporate American Express. I was traveling. I was loving what I did because I impacted many lives because I worked with I worked with safety net clinics for underprivileged people to get health care. And I worked for an organization. I was the director of cultural health initiatives. And the things that I did and brought to the communities that I brought, people were like, nobody comes here. And I loved doing it. But when the economy crashed, they told me I needed to be a fundraiser. Now, if my job is to work in underserved communities, where were these funds coming from? They're like, you're smart. You have the degree figured out.
Oh, my.
So I said, So I did, because that's what I've been taught to do. I have strong women in my life. I have watched them. What do they say? You take the lemons and make lemonade. You stretch out meals. You do whatever it does. You do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Right.
And so I always call myself a solution broker because I have always figured it out. And so I did figure it out for a year and how to get funding to get to my different projects. But then they just kept cutting and kept cutting and kept cutting to the point where I was working 7 days a week and started having health issues. And then I had no job. So with no job, I had no insurance. And so my dream job went to nightmare and then went to unemployment and uninsured. I was the people that I always tried to help. And I said, oh, what am I going to do? And so, I did the traditional thing, looking for jobs. I moved to another city where I had lived before, and it just was a nightmare because I had 30 years experience. Nobody was trying to pay me. In those years, they decided to get rid of the middle management, and the salaries went way down. And I said, well, what am I going to do? I said, I got to eat. So I had to get a job. And that's what actually brought me to Phoenix. I got a job at a bank. And that is completely opposite from the things that I was doing. But working for a for-profit organization has helped me get back to helping the nonprofits without harming myself.
That's a great, wonderful story, because many of us, if we were challenged with that, we would pretty much decide that, we'll just take whatever we can get, and then we'll be done with it. We wouldn't move to another state. We wouldn't follow, where it's leading us. Some of us would just stay where we are and accept it. Now, I know for you, you have multiple businesses where multiple, I call them sources of income, because you have found the ticket or the secret to having the financial security outside of your job.
Absolutely.
And so tell those women out there who are really searching and knowing, well, before we do that, talk a little bit about how you're preparing for your retirement, having been to that position where you lost everything. Yes. And knew that you needed money. How are you preparing for your retirement?
Well, like you said, multiple streams of income is something that I was always taught to. And even when I was driving to Arizona, I was listening to a series that my previous church had, a women's retreat, and it was called Streams in the Desert. And that's also the Bible devotional I read that's really, really old, but Streams in the Desert. And I found myself here in the desert working a job that people were telling me is beneath you. I'm like, eating is not beneath me, having a roof over my head. So don't let people try to shame you. You have to do what works for you. So for me, out went the job with the pension and all of that. Right. I had to start over. So yes, I started over, but I never gave up dreaming. God gives us dreams. We're going to work for them. And that's the whole thing about faith plus work. It's right. Like faith without work is dead. Right. Faith plus work is success. So I've always had a home-based business because I'm single. I don't have any children. I needed the tax breaks. So I've known about the tax advantages of home-based businesses for years. I've been successful in some. I've been unsuccessful in some. But the thing is, I know that they work, but you have to work them. And so I have found the mix now, because if you know me, I will, give your restaurant a commercial, tell everybody, and you're not paying, right? But if I like something, it works, and I believe it's valuable, I'm going to share. That's what our Bible says. We got to share the good news, right?
That's right.
The gospel. Exactly. And everything good you want to share with people you love. And so for me, a few years ago, I went back to, I have arthritis in my knees and in other places in my body, but I was in so much pain that I thought that my knee was broken. And I went to the doctor and they said steroid shots and knee replacement. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't do needles well, and I'm not doing surgery unless it's life saving. Right. But I found a product that helped me with my knees, and a doctor that fitted me for braces. Now I walk 3 to 4 miles a day. I only walked 2 miles this morning because I wanted to be on time for Miss Cheryl. But the thing is, that's one thing, and it does provide an income. And then I have another business that helps women with self-defense, because I am, again, single. Right. And so I need to be able to protect myself. And so that was another thing that I am passionate about. But the thing that is helping me with my retirement now is a financial company that gives us a team. Wealthy people always have a team of experts. And when you're not wealthy, you're just out there doing it yourself. And do it yourself, DIY for your finances, really doesn't work too well. And so I did not believe I was going to be able to retire. Because I have student loans, I have a mortgage, card, I have all of that, right? But I know that my job sustains me in keeping the roof overhead, all the things. It also lets me have a little fun because I love to travel. But I said, what am I going to do for retirement? I'm going to be 60 this year. I don't want to work forever. And so I said, I've got to figure out a way. And so this company has showed me how to deal with the 4 financial roadblocks that we all deal with, no matter what your income. We deal with taxes, debt, big business, and inflation.
Yeah.
And these are what takes our money. If we're not smart to get a team, taxes is 1/3 of our money, most people. And when we have a job, we're taxed. Your W-2 employees and your 1099 is 2 different things, how you're taxed.
Right.
When you work a job, you work, they take the money first before you even see it. And then you get to live on what's left. When you have a 1099, you do your business, you get to spend first, and then you're taxed last.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's strategies to help you save some money. So even if you're not an entrepreneur, you should have a home-based business. You could find whatever you're passionate about. But my rule is it must be self-funded.
Right.
Because if you're just paying money out, that's a hobby. That's not helping you with retirement. Any business that you want to get into, you need to ask, how can I become self-funded? And this company, I became self-funded in 15 days.
Wow.
And so after that, everything is gravy. And so now I'm at a point where they are putting over $600 a month into my economy, which they're giving me also access to private reserve accounts and land banking. Now, I'm not at the land banking level yet, but private reserve accounts. I've worked for a bank for 10 years. I didn't know about private reserve accounts until this company, because I asked. As soon as I heard about it, I went to work the research. We have an academy where we can look up things, and we can also talk to different executives. And I talked to someone, and they said, well, frankly, you don't have enough money for us to talk to you about a private reserve accounts. And it's actually illegal for them to discuss those accounts unless you have 6 figures in the bank.
Now, Karlease, you were talking to us about being self-funding and being able to start our own businesses. What is some of the advice that you would give the woman over 50 who is getting near to that retirement? They know that they're not ready to just sit at home, and they're not ready to be a Walmart greeter. Or when I go to my Sprouts, I just wonder how, some of these people are able to check and stand on their feet all day because they're elderly. So talk about some of the ways that they can be self-funding or find the income and find some of the kinds of businesses out there to help them have that extra money coming in addition to if they're retired or their pensions or their Social Security.
Okay. So the first thing I would say is, what are you passionate about? Okay. So what I've shared with you is I'm passionate about health, a more holistic approach to health. I am passionate about my safety, and I'm passionate about my finances. The thing is, you need to find the vehicle that works for you. Like I said, entrepreneurship is not for everybody, but home-based businesses helps you to use your home as a tax benefit. So instead of bills, I have expenses that the business pays. And so you can talk to me, connect with me. I can steer you in some directions, but really it's a personal thing. Some people I know are passionate about baking, and they're making cakes and cookies and whatever, but it's just, you need to know what your, oh my gosh, I just had a blank, but Cheryl, I took her master class on starting on a plan. But you need to know your, what is it, the cost to the ratio,
right?
The cash flow. I don't
okay.
know why that cash flow escaped me because that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Increasing your cash flow. And so, and that's exactly what my company does, is help you to increase your cash flow. So if you can find a vehicle that you're not, that you can be self-funded. Self-funded just means that you're making more than you're putting out.
Right. And that's so important when it comes to business. That's the whole
first
purpose
thing
of being in business.
And like I said, I have a master's in business, and they say that 80% of companies fail in the first year. And most companies take 3 to 5 years to show a profit.
And it's so generally related to cash flow.
It's cash flow.
We don't understand the difference between having expenses and profit. And we go into business thinking that, oh, I'll just, get there and people will just come and they'll buy and this. But there is a science to it. And if you are looking for a vehicle out there and you want to start your own business, I encourage you, find someone who knows what they're doing and let them help you get started. Don't just invest money and not know how to be a good steward of that money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said, I also travel. You see these pictures are Hawaii.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, your travel. Because it's summertime. We're ready to hit the road.
Oh my gosh. I love to travel. My dad told me a long time ago, make the travel pay you. And so I've been a part of travel businesses before, but I am launching a travel business. It's not ready because I'm working on retirement first from my job. And my plan for retirement is this year, December 2022.
Wow.
Because of my company showing me how to increase my cash flow, then I can work on my passion. And my passion, I've always helped women in whatever stage of the life. But right now, I just want us to be able to live our best lives and travel the world. And so I'm launching a business called Card Trips. And that business is going to be for women over 50 who want to travel. They want to be safe. They want to know that the company they're with is going to make sure everything is in place. They're going to be small trips, not large trips. I'm not looking to be, this huge travel agency or anything. I'm looking to make card trips because I'm Karlease and I like to take trips.
And I can't wait to be on one of your trips because it does the heart good to get away and have some time where it's not business related, it's not family related, it's just you and the ability to get out there. And I know you have been, I've been looking up to you for years, all the trips that you take and all the pictures you post. And I know anyone who decides that you want to travel with Karlease, you will have a good time. And so, Karlease, do you have any plans for travel this summer?
Well, I was supposed to be in Jamaica the first week of June, but it's postponed until September. Actually, right now I'm supposed to be in Jamaica, but it's postponed until September. So I'm really going to be quiet this summer because I'm really working aggressively on this retirement plan so that I can travel every month because that's what I like to do. This cash flow is the most important thing that you can look at. It's not your income, because you can make $1 million and have $2 million in debt.
Exactly.
And that means you are broke. You could make $80,000 and have $40,000 in debt. You're winning. So you have to find the people that will show you what works for you. It's not a cookie cake thing. Each person is individual. And so what I say about the team is you need professionals that tell you. Now, I can introduce you to them, but I don't know your finances. I'm not trying to find out your finances. But I work with experts who do. And they have shown me, like I said, the student debt, Navient There's lawsuit right now, but
I know.
they said that I would be paying them for 137 years.
Ooh, wow.
My experts have shown me how to be completely out of debt with my student loans, my 30-year mortgage that I got 2 years ago, my car, my credit cards, everything completely debt-free in July 2031. 9 years.
Wow.
9 years from now. And they also said if I use these strategies, I'll be a millionaire 12 years later.
Okay.
So it's about strategies and cash flow. And that's what I'm talking about, because everything that you do is going to be either beneficial to you or harmful. So it's like you can go out and buy some shoes for $100 and you may or may not wear them.
Right.
But there's no benefit other than you like the shoes. Now, if it's money's not an issue, that's not a problem. But what if you took that same $100 and made it work for you so that you could buy more shoes later?
Right.
And I'm talking about for the rest of my life, because I want to be out there having fun, not worrying about if social insecurity is going to be there. My grandfather used to say social insecurity, and he said that years ago, and now I really believe it. That's not what I'm counting on.
Good, good, good. Now, how do people connect with you? If they're interested in finding out what you're talking about and how they can connect with some of those experts, how do they connect with you?
Okay, so my email is B for Bradford, Karlease, my name, Karleas like Sam, B Karlease @gmail.com. If you send me an email, I will send you a link to some more information. My phone number is 404-513-5482, 404-513-5482. Leave me a message and I will be able to contact you as soon as possible. Like I said, I still work a full-time job and I have the businesses, but I would love to show you what we're talking about.
That's great. I think my screen is frozen, but we can continue to talk because I want people who are listening to the audio to continue to hear what we're saying. Well, Karlease, I have really appreciated you coming to us today and sharing what you've been sharing. And I know that if you're looking to live your best life right now, a big part of that is having the finances to do it, whether it's investing in your own business or it's investing in, if you want to get your book published or you go back to school and you don't want a big bunch of debt with student loans. Part of it is financial security. So connect with Karlease and she will get you connected. Do you have a special offer for the ladies today, Karlease? Is there something that by connecting with you is an advantage for them?
Yes. If you connect with me and I connect you with the experts, there is a 30-day money back guarantee. If you do what they say and they do not bring an increase in your cash flow, then you can get your money back within the 30 days.
Wow.
And so it is a great opportunity because it's no risk. And that whole thing about the private reserve accounts, you know, if you have money in a bank, they're paying you pennies. Our private reserve account is between 8 and 18% return. It depends on where you lock in because it goes up with the stock market. But instead of your 401k, which crashes with the stock market, it goes up. But if the stock market goes down, it just stays steady. So there's a no risk involvement. And so that's the beautiful thing about our company.
Good, good, good. Well, those of you who want to connect, be sure to connect with Karlease, and we will put her contact information in the comment section in YouTube. And so if you need to connect with her, you'll be able to have that information. And I really appreciate you joining me, Karlease. Again, I think I'm frozen on the screen.
Yeah,
But it's all good. I love technology.
You know, it works, and then sometimes it
Sometimes
doesn't,
it
but it's
doesn't.
still working.
Yeah.
I appreciate you allowing me to share, and especially on your birthday.
Oh, yes. And thank you so much. And I am feeling so great and so excited to be 67 years old. And that's just is something showing that God has been watching over me. And I am so grateful for that. So for those of you who want to hear our next podcast, it will be on June 20th, Monday, June 20th. And we may have some other special guests. It may be me talking to you, but however I come to you, bring your cup of coffee and let's have coffee together so that you can live your best life right now.